Hello everybody, my name is Brady and we are back with another React video, and today we are going to be checking out more from Mapmen. This is a video that I thought would be really cool. Like, zeroing in on specific maps I think is a really fun little idea. The map that saved the most lives. Like, I was really interested in the video they did on Russian mapping, and that was just absolutely fascinating to me, so I'm very excited to see where else this series of videos can take me. So the map that saved the most lives, can I guess a century where it's from? Is it the 19th? Oh, is it the 20th? I think it's the 20th. Where it's a 20th century one. Do you think it's even related to war? I don't know. Maybe it's related to famine. Who knows? Like, I guess we'll get it started. I have no idea where this video could go. So let's do it.
This episode was written during the coronavirus lockdown.
And it's not an uncoincidence that it's about a map that stopped a deadly disease.
Welcome to Mapmen.
We're the men.
And here's the map.
Oh, it's topical. I got it.
Men.
200 years ago, cholera was one of the most feared illnesses, or indeed anythings, in the world.
Nobody knew how it spread or where it came from, but they did know that if you got it, there was a 50% chance you would die, sometimes within just one day.
And a pretty unpleasant final day it would be, too. Within hours, cholera can cause teeth to protrude, eyes to sink, and blood to thicken and turn blue, giving cholera its nickname, the Blue Terror. I'm terrified.
Ooh. Normally, I would get anxious over just the idea of that with us actually living in a pandemic right now, but got my first vaccine the other day. I'm tapping my arm ever so gently because it hurts a little bit. It's day after it gets a little bit sore, but yeah, I got my first vaccine, so in a month I'm going to be getting my second one, so that's a thing. Yeah, if you haven't gotten yours, you know, it was surprisingly easy to get it. I got it like the day after I called, so that's a thing. So now that I'm done talking about myself, sorry, let's go back to the video.
Thickened
cholera.
Blue, giving cholera its nickname, the Blue Terror. I'm terrified.
This is because cholera causes the body to lose as much water as possible in the shortest possible time. As much as 20 litres in a day.
Because it spread so quickly between people, scientists spent literally hours thinking about ways to fix cholera. To a man, they were all convinced it was passed around through bad air, which they called miasma to try and sound clever.
It wasn't until someone called John Snow, not that John Snow, not that John Snow, this John Snow, did some thinking of his own that progress was finally made.
The story starts in Old York in the olden days. John grew up in a poor part of the city where sewage flowed openly in the street and filth was a fact of life.
Oh, look! An apple!
Yeah, so germ theory wasn't... I don't know exactly what year this is supposed to take place, but germ theory wasn't even that big of a thing until after, like, the American Civil War, which we could have really used it during that time, but yeah. I think there might have been whispers about it, and, like, some people might have been thrown around the idea, but it wasn't really accepted. So depending on what time this is, yeah, it's not at all surprising.
Snow was so grossed out by it, he became unusually health conscious and styled himself on a 21st century hipster. He didn't drink alcohol, was a vegetarian, and insisted on only drinking distilled water.
Snow escaped his life of squalor by being very good at maths and was offered a place at Newcastle to train as a physician.
He first witnessed the grim effects of cholera while treating patients in the nearby coal mining town of Killingworth.
He noticed that men who worked down the pit were dying of cholera at exactly the same rate as everyone else, even though they were nowhere near the foul air of the town. He began to suspect cholera had nothing to do with bad air, instead suspecting it might instead have something to do with the water instead.
But because Victorian scientists really enjoyed using the word miasma, they all ignored his radical theory.
Snow would need hard proof to convince the doubters, and finally got the chance years later when he moved down to London. In 1854, cholera struck Soho in the heart of London, and John Snow had just moved into a house in the heart of Soho, on Sackville Street, right by the Itsu. He was in the perfect place at the perfect time.
Yes! I mean, how awful. Snow went from door to door recording as much as he could about the cases that had occurred so far.
Cholera?
Good. Excitingly,
Good.
he plotted his data onto a map.
When Snow looked at the data he'd collected, he made an astonishing discovery. Almost all the recorded cases occurred near the Broad Street water pump. The further from the pump he went, the fewer deaths he recorded. A clear pattern had emerged.
What John Snow
So somebody took a dump in the water pump or wherever they're getting the water from, right? It's probably something like that. Okay, this actually makes a whole lot of sense why this... Did this really save the most lives, like, out of any map? I'm not sure, but... I don't know, it's a pretty populous area. Like, I suppose it could have potentially killed a lot of people.
Was doing was one of the earliest known examples of data journalism, which doesn't sound sexy and isn't sexy, but I still like it.
Still, in order to finally prove to all the miasmarists out there that it really was the pump, Snow needed a watertight case.
That's a good pun.
I know.
But there appeared to be some anomalies, such as an isolated case miles away to the north in Hampstead. How did the cholera get all the way up there?
He went to speak to the elderly victim, and it turned out her niece had been bringing her the water from Broad Street because, like many others, she thought the Broad Street water tasted sweeter.
And we'll try not to think about the fact that sweeter, in this case, was another way of saying contains sewage.
Yeah.
As well as cases far away from the pump, there was another type of anomaly that needed...
I mean, a lot of people enjoy water that has greater like mineral content and stuff like that. Like, I get that. But yeah, like, I don't know how you could possibly, like, I've never knowingly drank water that contains sewage, so I can't necessarily speak from experience, but I'd imagine like that wouldn't be that pleasant. But I don't know, I guess it maybe I don't know anything.
Needed explaining. Non-cases really close to the pump, such as the workhouse on nearby Poland Street, which had bizarrely recorded hardly any deaths at all.
So Snow went to visit the workhouse and found they had their very own water well for water. What a surprise.
There were also no deaths at the local ale distillery. When Snow tried to interview people who worked there, nothing they said made any sense.
Which made sense because it turned out that instead of getting cholera, they'd been getting drunk. No water, no cholera. Every apparent setback to Snow's water theory only ended up making his case even waterier and tighterier than ever before.
So he took his map to the local health commission, who were convinced enough to remove the handle from the Broad Street pump.
And a good job they did, because the...
I think I actually heard of this. Like, I didn't realize it until they said that part where they removed the handle. They might have done... Did they do this on, like, Drunk History or something? Because that sounds like something I've actually heard before.
Cases immediately started drying up.
The other two were better.
Yeah, I know.
But how did that pump get infected in the first place? He found the answer with the help of a holy gossip monger.
Henry Whitehead, the local priest, knew everybody's business, including who had diarrhea when.
With a combination of Whitehead's nosiness and Snow's clever map-making, they were able to trace the outbreak back to case 0, a baby living at number 40, whose mother had been washing nappies into the house's underground cesspit.
Oh my God.
Not unsurprisingly, they found cracks between the cesspit and the well, finally confirming that everyone had been drinking number 40's number 2s. We have to take our hats off to this gruesome twosome for collecting so much data over what must have been months of work.
Actually, the whole endeavour from start to finish took just 3 days.
Wow! Shockingly, despite all the evidence they gathered, and with the outbreak cleared up as a result of their work, the mainstream miasmarists continue to ignore Jon Snow's findings, and the local council soon popped the handle back on the Broad Street pump as if nothing was ever wrong with it.
As always seems to happen when someone does something amazing.
Yeah, let's preemptively deregulate.
Luckily
that's
today,
a
medical
idea.
experts are always taken seriously, and their advice is always listened to by people in charge who are never interested in personal political gain over rigorous, evidence-led, peer-reviewed scientific facts.
Except sometimes it isn't, which is why every year to this day, the medical community holds the Pump Handle Lecture, during which a mock handle is ceremonially removed and replaced in recognition of the struggle of getting people in charge to listen to doctors. Perhaps the most fun way Jon Snow is remembered today is in the form of this pub, the Jon Snow pub.
We're not sure how the famously teetotal Jon Snow would have felt about this, but either way, cheers to Jon Snow.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Tastes quite sweet. Hello, I'm Edward.
And I'm William.
And you join us at the start of a motor-tastic road trip. Over the next 52 days, we're going to be visiting every single motorway service station in Britain.
And on the way, we'll get to see lots of other really cool things like castles and cathedrals.
No, there's no time for that. We're only visiting motorway service stations. We're going to visit Toddington and Newport Pagnell and Watford Gap and Charnock Ridge.
Oh, this 2,713-mile journey is going to be really boring.
I
I know. I'll keep myself entertained by listening to a wide selection of audiobooks using Audible.
Audible
Is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment and audiobooks. Audiobooks
Got a book recommendation for me, guys?
Usually read by the author, sometimes read by other handsome narrators. You can find everything on
Oh, he's got one.
bestsellers and new
cool.
releases.
He's got a good voice.
Business, motivation, and celebrity memoirs, such as Pat Sharp's hilarious semi-fictional autobiography. And it's not just audiobooks you find on Audible. There's all sorts of spoken word entertainment, like podcasts, guided wellness programs, and TV and radio shows. You can keep credits for up to a year and then binge on a whole series. You can download and listen offline anytime across devices without losing your spot. Oh, it's so good! If you want to try Audible for yourself, just go to audible.com/mapmen to get a free 30-day trial. And for Americans, there's also a special holiday offer on Audible.
Where's my
Plus,
sponsorship?
starting from just $4.95 a month for the first 6 months.
Contacted you forever ago, and you still haven't gotten back to me. I'm talking over the ad, I know. But still, this happened.
Go to audible.com/mapmen for a free 30-day trial.
I didn't even get a rejection email.
There's like nothing stopping you. Oh, I'm really
I filled out the application. I definitely did it correctly.
The soundtrack of hours and hours of scintillating entertainment from Audible.
And Thurrock. Right, let's motor away.
I feel that. Oh, man.
Mapmen.
That was fun. That was really fun. I'm really enjoying their stuff, and I just kind of want to keep going down this rabbit hole, see what else they've done. I haven't checked to see how many Mapmen video they are. They are on the J. Foreman channel, so it's like a series on the channel. I don't know how old the Mapmen series itself is. I also haven't checked out any of J. Foreman's other stuff, but he seems to have an educational bend to things, so maybe eventually. I've really been enjoying these so far. Three in a row, and I think they kind of nailed all of them so far, like in different but also very fun ways. This one, the live action element, was very well done. Not a lot of educational creators do a whole lot of well, not a lot of educational creators do like little live action bits as well as this. Like this is hard to find. They're few and far between. But when you find a good one, like it really separates the men from the boys when it comes to educational creators. This has been really cool. So I'm going to check out more of their stuff going forward. Let me know if you guys have a preference, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another video. All right.